Hi everyone, welcome to World of Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is the Tier 6 Premium Swedish tank, the Stridsvagen, as I'm told. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, the Strv M4257. Stridsvagen M4257. Anyway, it's a premium tank. It's the first tank on World of Tanks from Sweden, and it's got a 4-shot autoloader which is capable of dealing 600 damage with its 4 shots. Now in this game's been driven by Shadow MK from PB Khakis on Malinovka. He's lucky enough to be top tier, and he's moving out to a position where often light tanks go, and also medium tanks to try and spot the enemy side. You can see a lot of tanks on Shadow's side are camping the base. In fact, I'd say probably half the tanks are camping the base. He's already down by 1, and without giving too much away, it's going to get worse in this game. Now, Shadow MK from PB Khaki obviously loves this tank. It's a premium tank, so obviously it gets a little bit more, a few more credits than you would get in a normal tank. And you can see that the enemy are absolutely out-visioning the other tanks on Shadow's side in the southwest corner. They're just out-visioning him and taking him down to absolutely nothing. Now Shadow's desperately trying to spot some tanks for the enemy to shoot at, but they're just not presenting himself. I'm tipping there's quite a few here, and the rest are probably going up towards the hill. Who knows? But he lights up the T-34. The T-34 gets lit up. Puts one shot into him. Another one. Picks up his first kill. They're still down by a tank. His 6th sense hasn't gone off yet, so he thinks he's probably still safe. I'm not sure if he's got 6th sense. I'm tipping he will though, because he plays this tank really well. He's just searching for some more snipey shots at this stage, and he's reloaded his clip. He just about has reloaded his clip. It's probably the only tank providing any vision for his team, so we know that there's probably nobody around here or nobody around this area, because nobody's been lit yet. A lot of the tanks down here. Nothing else really coming up on the map as these heavy tanks slowly trundle up the hill. KV-85, top tier, sitting down here. Is he? Can't really see. He's lost a bit of his health by the looks of it. And unfortunately, especially at this tier, obviously, often you see people do some silly things. But anyway, now the Shadow's looking for some shots on that Rudy, but the Rudy just down a little bit too far. Auto aims on the KV-1S. Don't know how that first shot missed, but he puts 2 more shots into him, and he pulls back for the reload. Now, Artie obviously has worked out roughly where the Shadow is, and he puts a shot into him, or towards him, as Shadow waits for his autoloader to reload. And he wants to find that KV-1S and take him out of the game, because that KV-1S from there will light him up and probably light some of these other tanks up. They're down by 2 tanks. Bit of a slow start in this game, but you're going to see Shadow MK from PB Cat Clan do some absolutely amazing things pretty soon. It's got a pretty good presence on the hill. They're probably a bit worried about the OI and the KV2 that were spotted up here at A8. And Shadow MK just looking for where that KV-1S might be. Now they're down by 3 tanks as the Type T-34 T5 Chinese tank gets taken out of the game, and he goes straight to the chat to tell people what the fuck are you doing. But anyway, Shadow MK's got the only kill of the game. We're nearly 5 minutes in and no one else has got a kill, apart from, of course, 4 of the players on the enemy side. That KV-1 is not going to last long there. On 100 hit points, and he gets done. The artillery finally gets another kill, taking out the KV-2, and Shadow just putting some shots into the KV-1S, picks up his 2nd kill and brings the score slightly back to 4-7. Now we know that Rudy and the T-34 85 were last seen down at K3 and 4, and T-34 sitting back here is just going to... what he's going to do, he's probably just going to sit there. Because without giving too much away, there's not many tanks on Shadow's side that are going to do a great deal in this game. The Shadow's moving back to the cap just to try and stop that top tier medium tank from doing too much damage, and importantly lighting up the arties as well as that T-34. That T-34 is in a platoon, so he's obviously talking to the other people, or he should be. And Shadow doing absolutely the right thing and saving his health for a bit of a charge at the end. Puts 3 nice shots into the Su-85, takes him out of the game, picks up his 3rd kill, and so far he's got half the kills of his side. It's still 6-9, so there's still a little bit of strife. They're still down 3 tanks. He reloads again, and he's looking for that T-34-85. He desperately wants to get rid of that top tier medium tank before he does anything else. Now the OI gets taken out by the little artillery, the British Tier 6 FV-304, the Birdie tank, with the really quick reload. And now there's only 3 arties left on Shadow's side, as well as the VK-3001H, the German heavy tank, and of course himself. Now he gets lit, so we do know he's got 6 cents, and that T-67 is just making a beeline for the grill as the Shadow wills his gun to reload, but the grill shotguns the T-67, which is a handy kill, handy one to get rid of at Tier 5. Now Shadow's still got all of his health. He's picked up 3 kills, 1436 hit points of damage so far. He needs to do something about that Russian Tier 6 medium tank, the T-34-85, one of the most popular tanks in the game at Tier 6. The auto aims. First shot doesn't hit, second shot bounces, third shot does some damage. Will the 4th shot get the kill? It doesn't, so he's reloading, pulls back as he reloads, and that T-34-85 doesn't look like he's on the cap, but he might be. Someone certainly is. Now that Su-100Y and the KV-1, he's going, I'll get rid of the KV-1 first if I can. Looks like he's behind a rock. Now that Russian premium tank destroyer is going to light up everyone who's left. There's only 3 tanks left in this game. Shadow MK in his Stritzwagen M4257, the Hummel, and the VK-3001. The VK-3001 is cowering down there as Shadow MK wheels his gun to reload. He's got a minute before the cap resets, so he thinks, oh, I've got time to get rid of this bloke. There's kill number 4, and put a couple more shots into the Su-100Y as the Hummel kills the Su-100Y, picking up his 2nd kill. But now it's 1 versus 6. Shadow MK's got 4 kills. It's just him left, with 2 Tier 6s, 2 Tier 5s, and 2 Tier 4s. So he's going. Thank Christ, he's got all of his hit points left. He needs to reset, because it's not the T-34-85 that's capping, it's the little looks. And so he just auto aims on the looks, misses a shot, which that's going to cost him. So he runs around, keeps that last shell in the chamber. Cops, looks like maybe a high explosive shot from the looks. There's two on the cap. He desperately wants to get rid of that medium tank first. He's only got 1 shell left. Takes another shot from the looks. As he's reloading, he's going to try and get a bit of ram damage. He's willing this gun to reload. He's copping a bit of grief now. He's down to 461 hit points. Waiting for it to reload. He takes out the KV-1. Takes out the looks with consecutive shots. Picks up his 7th kill. Gets smashed by the Bishop for 400 hit points. That hurt. Loses his commander, which he quickly repairs with his first aid kit, and also takes some damage to his ammo rack, which he fixes up with his repair kit, but he hasn't got any hit points left. He's auto aimed on Little Birdie, the British quick artillery, and you can see how quick this British artillery can be. And he's pretty confident that he's not spotted. He bounces the bishop, which hurt. One shot left. Will it be enough? It won't. So he gets that bishop down to a one shot. But that FV304's still got plenty of health, and he's reloading, so he needs to move. It's 1 versus 3 here. Remember, it was 1 versus 6 only a couple of minutes ago. Shadow MK doing exactly the right thing. Keeping a little bit of distance. He's got to have better vision than these artillery, so he's putting a little distance between them as he waits for his gun to reload, which it finally has. And both the FV304 and the bishop last seen in that area. Auto aims and shoots, but misses his first shot. The FV gets spotted again, but so does Shadow. Puts 2 shots into him, takes him out of the game, and is Artie going to get him? Only 1 shot left, but he misses the bishop. This has got to be tense. He's done 8 kills, 2,883 hit points of damage, and now he's going to hug that windmill like his life depends on it, because it does. Looks, that was the American Artie shooting at him, and now he's reloaded. He needs to. He's hoping his vision is better than the bishop. First shot, he fires the first shot, misses the second and the third. Can he get it with the last shot? He can't. He hits the carcass of that dead tank. There's so many dead tanks near that cap circle, I don't know which one it is. So it puts a bit more distance between. He knows that M37 has been reloaded by now. He's only got 47 hit points and health left. Can he find a shot on the bishop? The bishop doing pretty well here. He's in a pretty good position behind that dead tank, but he doesn't miss with that shot. And now it's just 1 versus 1. He's got himself 9 kills, which is a Radley Walters medal. There's that American Artie, fires again. If you can kill this American Artie, it'll be a Pools medal for 10 kills. That's absolutely massive. 10 out of 15 tanks destroyed by our mate Shadow MK from PB Clan. Of course, the OI willing him on. You can win, and that's right. OI driver. It'll only be 1 person winning this game, and that'll be Shadow MK. There's a lot of other passengers in this game, that's for sure. Shadow MK cautiously getting closer and closer to the enemy flag. He doesn't want to put one track on that enemy cap circle. He doesn't want to let the M37 know where he is. The M37 will know that he's coming for him. He's got 2 kills, the M37. Boom, 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 007. That's a pretty cool name. But it doesn't matter how cool your name is when Shadow MK is coming down on you with his Strv M4257, the Tier 6 Swedish medium tank with that 4-shot auto loader. So he can afford to miss a couple of shots. And tip it at Tier 4, the M37 isn't going to have many hit points. Warning goes off. There's only 2 minutes to go. He needs to find him, and he needs to find him pretty quickly. Pretty safe bet to say that he's around this area somewhere. I've no idea how quick the M37 is. I'm tipping it's not too quick, being an artillery, but you never know. There he is. He nearly bumps into him. Misses the first shot. Gets him with his second, and that's enough to pick up kill number 10. Shadow MK from PB Cat Clan in his Stridswagen M4257, the brand new premium Swedish tank with the 4-shot autoloader. And have a look at those battle results. An Ace Tag and Mastery badge. Unsurprising that he picked up that one. Bruiser, demolition expert, because he ammo racked at least 1 tank. That would have been the last tank. That would have been that. We already got 1 shot with 400 damage into that American artillery. Duelist and fighter, and have a look at these medals. These are massive. Pascucci's medal for killing 3 artillery in 1 tank. Kolobanov's medal for a player who stands alone against 5 or more enemy tanks. Remember, it was 1 versus 6 towards the end of it. A Pools medal for getting 10 kills. That is absolutely massive. Defender for stopping the cap when the looks was capping him out. The high caliber, and of course the Top Gun. Look at all those tanks that Shadow MK spotted, killed and damaged. That's an absolutely massive result. If we look at the second page, 3,130 hit points damage for his 10 kills. That is massive. Look at everyone else. There was only 2 other players did more than 1,000 damage. 6 did 0, 1 did 18. plenty of passengers in that game. And the detailed report, he made 6,500 credits. Of course, he had premium ammunition loaded for some of those last kills, and I don't blame him, because the heart would have been pounding, especially when he realises a pools medal was up for grabs in that awesome replay from Shadow MK from PBCAC. Look at that result again. 1,536 base experience. Look at all those medals. 3,130 hit points of damage. He fired 48 shots, 27 did damage. 27 hit, 25 did damage. 3,130. And he damaged 12 out of the 15 enemy tanks. And of course, 100 defense points. A massive, massive result. You won't see another game like that for a very long time. As we move on to game number 2 in this double shot of Stridsvagen, I think that's what it's called, Swedish medium tier 6 premium action. This is our old mate Matchy HK, and of course, as usual, I'll put the link to Matchy HK's very own YouTube channel in the video description. And in this game, is not lucky enough to be top tier in his Swedish meatball tank. He's on Erlenberg, and he's almost top tier though. There's only 5 tier 7 tanks on each side, and he's going to put this Swedish gun to use on Erlenberg. Now he's doing what most people do on Erlenberg. When you spawn north, you normally go for the western flank. At least that's my experience anyway. You can see a few of the friendly tanks that have gone along the eastern side, and Matchy's just looking for a little bit of easy damage to start with. Do a little bit of sniping, a little bit of pain to the enemy's side. He's got binoculars, which they've activated, and he's just searching for a few cheeky shots as I have a mouthful of beer because my voice is about to die. Matchy looking for a shot on that big tier 7 Japanese tank, but he's going to struggle to penetrate it frontally, so he's hoping that he shows him his side, which he does. So he puts one shot into him, 2 shots, and then he gets behind a building. Doesn't want to reload, wants to see if he can get a shot into that Type 58. So he puts a blind shot in the general direction, but it looks like it didn't do any damage. Zooms out to have a look around just to see who's coming as the gun reloads. It's got an awesome little gun, the Swedish Stridsvagen M4257. 4 shells, they do about 150 damage each shell. That's 600 damage in one clip, which is pretty handy at tier 6. Now he's keeping that VK4503 lit very nicely for his teammates. Of course, he's hoping that they shoot him and do some damage to him. But looks like they're not going to, so Matchy's going to do it himself. He puts some damage into the tier 7 German heavy tank as the OI comes to help. But the OI is pretty low on health, and his team's pretty low on tanks. They're down by 3 tanks already, losing some low tier tanks early. I can only guess that happened on the other side. I didn't really notice it happening on Matchy's side. Matchy's looking for a penetrating shot on this German heavy tank. He's struggling to pen it. He's getting some good spotting damage nonetheless. You can see the German tank turns his turret to shoot towards the Black Prince and the E25, so he makes the most of it. Puts a couple more damaging shots into him, bringing his damage up to 802, which isn't a bad start. Looks like the OI was trying to shoot him, but the OI is just, I don't know, is he getting in the way? He doesn't shoot Matchy in the back of the head. Matchy confirms the kill on the tier 7 German heavy tank, taking out the VIP tank Zukov from S-Clan, one of my favourite clans. S-Clan, if you know me, you probably know why. But anyway, it's 2-3, they're down by a tank, and Matchy's reloading his gun, and he wants to confirm, he wants to take over this side of the map, simply because the other side looks like they might be in a little bit of trouble. Down by 2 tanks. The Lux is running away. Looks like he's in a little bit of trouble. We've still got that big tier 7 Japanese tank there, but he is on low health. So Matchy's probably thinking, if I can get rid of him, it's another top tier tank out of the game. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky around the corner. There's the Panther, the other top tier tank. Keeps him tracked. Puts some more damage in. He's got 1 shot left. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Takes him down to 400 odd hit points of damage. 400 odd hit points of health. backs up as he reloads. Now Matchy, just like Shadow, is lucky enough to, he's pushed out a bit of damage, but he's still on full health, which is very, very handy. And it looks like the Panther is making a beeline for that Black Prince. So Matchy's going to make the most of it while he's distracted, but the Black Prince takes him out of the game and evens up the score, 6 apiece. See, Matchy's already done 15, 25 hit points of damage for his kill, but the other side looks like it's in a world of pain. So Matchy's heading back towards his flag as he reloads. He reloads premium ammunition because there's still a couple of top tier tanks on the enemy side. He wants to make sure he can defend the cap well with the score at 7 apiece. He's still got all of his health up his sleeve, and he's hoping to turn this game into another ace tanker mastery badge to put on Stewie's replay channel. Now you can see the E25 Torada is coming back to help defend as well. The E25 is lucky enough to be top tier in this battle. The Black Prince is just going to trundle along in the middle, just like the AT2 is the British tank. Artie's doing the right thing and getting the hell out of there, because if the enemy tanks push over this ridge line, Artie's going to be in a world of trouble. FV304 gets spotted, as does the AMX ELC, the French Tier 5 light tank. Matchy says, "You beauty, I'll take some damage," and a kill with the FV. And the VK36 puts another 300 damage into him as he waits for the reload. The SU-12244 gets rid of the German heavy tank as Matchy wheels his gun to get back into action. There's the E25 with not a lot of hit points. Matchy decides that he can take 1 or 2 shots from him because his autoloader is going to take him out pretty quickly and pick up kill number 3. 2,621 hit points of damage so far. Not bad at all for our mate Matchy HK. Looks like the only tank left on that flank is the AMX ELC. At least it's been spotted. Looks like he's been tracked. And Matchy's willing that gun to reload, but it just doesn't reload in time. So he's going to go straight after the French light tank. First shot misses. Second shot, actually the second shot missed as well. That AMX is certainly going to outrun Matchy in his Swedish tank. But looks like the E25's coming to play as well. And they desperately want to get rid of that light tank pretty quick, smart. Matchy's only got 2 shots left in his clip, but the AT2's capping him out, which tells me that the enemy tanks are probably going to start falling back towards their flag pretty soon. So Matchy takes the opportunity to reload his clip, go down this way where there's not much chance of any enemy tanks being here. They're going to be making a beeline towards the flag to stop the cap because there's only 30 seconds left before the cap timer runs out. And Matchy's team are winning comfortably now, 12-9. A lot of that due to Matchy taking those last 3 tanks, those 3 tanks out, as well as spotting for his team and dishing out plenty of damage. New Swedish autoloader. The Strv wagon. 2 shots go into the Type 58, which takes him down to probably a 2 shot for Matchy. And looking through. Wants another kill. Can he get it before the game's over? Yes, he can. Picks up kill number 4, but at the same time, that AT managed to successfully cap out the enemy side. As we look at the post-game battle results, another ace tanker. Mastery badge for Matchy HK. Bruiser, fighter, fire for effect, and the high caliber for doing more damage than anybody else in that team. 3,142 hit points of damage and 4 kills. You can see he fired 30 shots, 26 hit, which is pretty accurate shooting, and 22 did damage. 3,142, blocked a little bit of damage, did a little bit of spotting, but comfortably got the top score out of all those tanks. Even though he wasn't top tier, he was only in a tier 6, 2 tier 7s, didn't do too bad, but some of them left a little bit to be desired. But handy little profit of 15,000 credits. He did fire a little bit of premium ammunition because there was some times in that battle where he really wanted to make sure that the enemy tanks were killed or damaged, and to make sure to confirm the win, because at one stage it was looking a little bit dicey. But an awesome game there by Matchy, as well as Shadow from PB Cat Clan in their respective Stripswagen M42 57, the tier 6 Swedish auto-loading medium tank, an awesome tank and a couple of awesome games. I hope you've enjoyed these replays. I've certainly enjoyed watching them myself. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you all next time.